Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to The Actor's Choice. Roll it, Tony.
So one member of our team that we didn't get to introduce previously was the remarkable, the astounding, the terrific editor, Dave Edison. Yay, Dave.
Thank you. Well, that must be
we are just thrilled to have you aboard. Dave is doing a spectacular job editing all of our video content.
Dave Edison is a really, really good editor. And I actually do know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And he's not just a good editor, he's one of the top editors I've worked with.
He's great.
One of two, because I can't have favorites here, of course, but he's definitely in the top two.
Yeah. So one member of our team that we did.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a great story from our first guest. Started with him being a performer on hundreds, well, maybe thousands of stages, sharing billing over the years with Jay Leno, Adam Sandler, Jeff Foxworthy, and many, many more. Now, he's done television, he's done film, but now he's an award-winning editor on sitcoms, web series, documentaries, animated films, sci-fi films, etc., etc., etc. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dave Edison. Dave, welcome.
Good morning. It's morning, right?
Right. It is morning where I'm at. Yeah. We were supposed to. We had a little glitch there. I was going to show Shotokan Man. You know the animation that you did to show the editing they did what you do. First of all, welcome to The Actor's Choice. Now, what a change! I mean, through your life, you made some changes. You know, some folks don't even know why a change is made. Well, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. With the change, folks do it every day. So
I know people who used to be in the Navy.
Thank you, like me. Almost 22 years. Oh, yeah. But please tell us about your experience that made you make a change.
Well, I started out of college a few years ago. Started doing stand-up comedy and just loved it. And for about 13 years, I worked at a club in New York called the Comic Strip.
Okay.
And moved out to LA. I got pretty good. I didn't get great. You gotta be great, or you just have to have tenacity and just be willing to just take that next step forward, even though there's all of that resistance that you get in this town and all that competition. So with me, I did a little bit of acting. I saw an opportunity. Somebody who I used to make little videos, and a friend of mine. I picked up some extra work. I was an extra on shows like the Larry Sanders Show and a bunch of TV movies and things. And I became friends with the guy who wrangled the extras. And he was putting together a game show pitch with a friend of his.
Gotcha.
And he needed a few little videos. So I put these little videos together for him. The show didn't go, but the guy got a gig. He got a gig on a local talk show and called me up and said, you know, they need somebody to do videos for this thing. And I said, well, you know, stand-up has been taking me around the country and I was getting tired of that, and clubs were closing and there was so much competition, as I mentioned. And I had met a gal who I would rather be in town with than out somewhere in some town. And who I am going to be, by the way, be having my 25th anniversary with.
All right.
In 2 days.
So that lady you're talking about.
That lady's sitting right over there, being very shy.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
55 years. Yes.
And so I took this job. I went in with my little bag of tapes in those days and got this local talk show gig, and that led to another talk show gig where I said, you know, I'd rather be doing that editing than the job that I was doing, which was post-production coordinating. And so I ended up working with that editor in his shop, and that's 22, 23 years ago.
Wow.
And I haven't been without an editing gig since. Now, this doesn't mean that I've figured out how to retire or that I can afford to grow old.
Right.
But, you know, it's a start. It's a job. It's the longest job I've held, and that's after 22 years of stand-up.
Right. Well, for the record, you're an award-winning editor, well-known, well-liked in this industry. When people mention Dave Edison, they know who they're talking about.
Now and again, yeah. Now those awards are not Emmys, those awards are not Oscars, but there's one of them sitting right over there.
Okay.
So.
Let's go back. You've done a lot of stuff. I should mention that some folks, you did play a guy named Groucho Marx.
Boy, you have done your research.
There's his picture.
Yeah, one of the day jobs, and I don't mention this often. That fella. During a thing showed up. There was an opportunity to audition as Groucho. For I figured maybe I'll do this for a year as the number 2, or maybe it was 3 in those days, Groucho at Universal Studios theme park. And so I said, sure, I'll go in that. And I got the gig for a year, right, which lasted 18 and a half years.
Wow.
So.
Okay. So the year is 1991. You got your first IMDb actor-writer credits for an action horror sci-fi film called Steel and Lace.
Steel and Lace, yes. There we go. Yeah. My good friend Joseph Dougherty, who is one of the most amazing people I've ever met. Brilliant, great writer, Emmy winner. He had this film. He was working on 30-something at the time, and couldn't quite get to do the rewrite on this. Now, I didn't do a particularly thorough rewrite, but I put some ducks in a row, as he said.
Gotcha.
And then he took it back and put the final touches on it. And this little film, which has a little bit of a cult status, and it's been on. You can find it online. It's on Amazon from time to time.
Okay.
Yeah,
So fast forward to 2002, and you got your first taste of being an editor in a TV movie called Rhapsody. Was it Rhapsody? Yeah, it is Rhapsody Street Kids Believe in Santa.
Now this thing is notorious.
Rhapsody.
We got this is a long story in itself, but as brief as I can make it, we ended up doing this show. Friend brought me in.
Right.
It's people. Be nice to people.
Right.
Meet people. Friend brought me on this project, and it turned out to be an incredible train wreck. It is the worst animated Christmas special ever. And for some reason, rather than going away after its one airing on a handful of stations, has gained a bit of notoriety, notorious notoriety. But if you want to learn more about it, you can Google Polygon Worst Christmas. That should be enough. Polygon Worst Christmas, and it will show up with an article about it they just published this past year. Okay.
So from that point, you were considered, quote unquote, an editor. Tony, can you show that sign, please? Can you show that sign what it says? Oh, yeah, there it is.
Wow.
Okay.
I put that together. Edited by Dave Edison.
Gotcha. 2011 was a good year for you, Dave. In fact, you in a short 13 minutes comedy film called Shorty and Morty. You were the director, you were the editor, and a friend of both you and I. Her name, Eva Marie Frederick, the writer and the star. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, she's terrific. She called me up again through a friend.
Yes.
I said needed somebody to edit this short that she had created, so that she had written and was starring in. And I introduced her to her co-star. So again, who do you know? Meeting people. And we put this little film together. We shot it in 2 days and edited it for the next few weeks. And the thing is loaded with special effects, which hopefully you won't notice. But there are little editing tricks. Like, for example, in the final scene, there's Eva has one leg, the other one's a peg leg, and that was all in After Effects, and as is removing the giant billboard from the building. So all kinds of little tricks. Another fun little film to do.
Tony, could you put that one up where you can see where they're working together? You're working with, what's her name? Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is.
JD made on camera. Yeah, that's terrific.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, she's great. She's just great.
Okay. All right. Well, Tony, we got a little. David, we got a Dave, we got a little thing for you. Tony, can you roll it? Roll it, Tony.
Wasn't that fun?
Fun?
I'm the coffee girl today.
The doctor gave me 3 kidneys.
Ew.
Stop it!
I felt it.
You're out of your friggin' mind.
Hey-o.
You're an abusive arse.
Now that, my friends, is the epitome of being an editor. Great work. Great job.
There are some fine performers in that
Indeed.
little film.
Right. Dave, where you from?
I am from a little town in upstate New York, a quiet little sleepy community called the Bronx.
I knew you were going to say that. Quiet community, right. Went to Evander Childs High School, I understand.
I did. Took freshman biology. Dissected a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Went to Aviation High School myself.
Very good. Very good.
Can't complain. Okay. Well, one of the things that you did, one of the projects that you did was one called Space Command.
Working on that now, yes.
Yes. Tell us about that, please.
All right. Space Command is the creation of Mark Scott Zekri, who's a longtime science fiction writer. In fact, he started his career in his early 20s by trying to learn how to do the best TV he could. He interviewed 200 people and wrote a book that's still in print called The Twilight Zone Companion. And so Mark came up with this idea for Space Command, and we've been working on it ever since. It started as a Kickstarter campaign. In fact, we're doing another Kickstarter now, trying to get the next episode done. And you know, this business, if you got money thrown at something, it goes fast. And otherwise, we're just chipping away as fast as we can. But you can find it on YouTube. It's available. You got some stars in it, like Bill Mumy from Lost in Space, Doug Jones from Star Trek Discovery, and Shape of Water and Guillermo del Toro's films. The great late Mira Furlan from Babylon 5 is in it. And if you like science fiction and want to see what some people can do with very little money and a lot of ingenuity and way too much time, check out Space Command.
Well, Dave, we got a little clip. Roll it, Tony.
Go for it.
You really are remarkable animals, you men. Chimpanzees could not have done all this. Not without considerable modification.
I thought you'd run away.
I thought about it. But where would I run?
All right.
The great Robert Picardo.
Yes.
That scene with Doug Jones. Not the most. That's one of the only scenes in the film that had almost no video effects in it.
Gotcha.
We got hundreds and hundreds, nearly 1,000 video effects in the first hour. So,
you know, we've been talking about editor. But for those who don't know, what is an editor?
An editor is the guy who edits. You want more details, don't you?
Yeah. It's like when they say, what's an announcer? I say, the answer is one who announces.
Exactly. What's a doctor? One who docs. So an editor, you get the footage from the set, from the camera, and usually with the help of the director and or producers, you assemble it in the correct order, you tweak, you tighten, you craft. I mean, it's always a handcrafted product.
Yes.
And that's what the editor does, puts it together in the right sequence. There are other people who will take care of sound considerations or the color correction. But yeah, that's what the editor does. And the tools these days are remarkable. I mean, obviously great films were made using what's that stuff that they used to have, film. But now it's all on a computer. I've edited on this little computer. I've edited many films. I've edited before the computer that came before this one. I edited Shorty and Morty with Eva Marie on it. So you can do remarkable things from your laptop now that just weren't possible before.
Right. I remember back in the old days, we used to call edit film and audio, whatever, with what they call the editor. Remember that?
No, I don't. But then again, I don't remember yesterday. So don't go by me.
But now they got high technology. What's that thing they call it? Dolby?
Oh, yeah. Well, Dolby Sound. That's the sound department. There's HQ. Well, it was HD.
Yes.
Until just a few years ago, and now it's 4K and it's going to 8K. And we can explain the technology of it, but people just woke up. Why put them to sleep?
Yes, that's true.
So.
Well, you know, all I can say, Dave, is that you've done a great job. Tony, can you let us see that last Dave Edison poster, please? There you go. So how folks can get in touch with you?
Yeah, a little bit from the Antique website. I will update that when I have time. But like I say, always busy. But but a pleasure always seeing you, and great to spend a few minutes with you.
Thank you. Same here.
I will tell people one thing about showbiz. If you're new and if you're thinking about getting into showbiz, seriously, reconsider.
Right. What's that question you say? Why?
Yeah, why? A friend of mine wanted to do stand-up. He said, "Can you help me write an act?" I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, I want to do stand-up." And I said, "Do you have to?" And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well," I said, "What I mean? What do you have to?" He said, "Well, no, I don't have to." I said, "Well, then don't do it." The reason for getting into this business is because you really have no choice.
Exactly.
It's what you got to do.
Got to do. Like that attitude, Dave. I like that attitude. Thank you so much for stopping by the Actor's Choice, sir. Love to see you again. Please take care.
Be well.
Ladies and gentlemen, editor Dave Edison. Roll it, Tony. Let's see if we can go ahead and move it on. If you have a product, service, or an upcoming event, and you'd like to see advertised on this program, please call 323-533-1036. That's 323-533-1036. Our prices are very affordable, and we thank you. Roll it, Tony.
On a cruise, Panama Canal. That's where I'd like to be right now. Poolside, pina colada in my hand, high and happy.
A nice breeze blowing off the water.
Hi,
Not a bad way to spend your birthday. You all right?
Ron.
Hot in here. You want me to crank the air?
Nah, I'm okay.
Oh my goodness.
Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest is a longtime actress on television, film, and the stage. Born and raised in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Trish Mccall. Hi, Trish. How you doing today?
I'm just fine.
Doing fine. And I like that the background you got. I like everybody has to have that background. You got to have it. It looks very nice, very nice. Welcome to the Actor's Choice. Now, I understand you got your first IMDb job as a utility stand-in for a fantasy horror film called The Serpent and the Rainbow.
Yes, that's absolutely true.
Wow.
I had a beautiful segue there. I was a professional dancer and I was on tour in a company, and I was retiring because I had some severe injuries, and but they needed me to go. And while I was there, I wound up getting hired on that job. So I basically was the body double and, as they call, utility stand-in for Kathy Tyson, a British actress.
Okay. So when did the acting bug actually bite you?
It bit me while I was still a dancer. I knew that I was going to have to retire soon. When you have injuries, it is a physical sport, dancing is. I thought, well, I don't play an instrument, and I'm a nerd, total nerd, big nerd over here. A lot of reading. I was reading just now. And so I thought, well, let me use your body as an actor, and I love to read, so I actually started studying while I was still a dancer for 2 years.
Excellent. Now you went to the DC Contemporary Dance Theater, and when you did some dancing?
Yeah, that was I danced with a company before that when I first got out of college. It was a liturgical dance company, and that was at St. Mark's. That was wonderful because I was a choreographer, so I could mount my own pieces. And we traveled inside the United States, and of course did local shows. And then once I joined DC Contempt, that was a huge quantum leap. I was dancing with people who had gone to Duke Ellington School of the Arts, and they were very accomplished. And we were fortunate. We wound up traveling internationally. We were the first local company to produce our own show at the Kennedy Center. Now a lot of dance companies do that, but we were the first. And it was extraordinary.
Got you. Because as an actress, you have a special talent that God gave you. And you feel it. When you think about it sometimes, do you ever think about it like that?
Oh, absolutely. When I was a child, I always knew I'd be a performer. I would put on little shows with my friends, and we would rehearse a lot, which is interesting. I loved to rehearse, and I still do. I feel with no rehearsal, there is no show.
Got you.
People who don't enjoy the process, I don't really see how they're going to be performing.
Right. So when you do the big A, what we call auditions, you have no problems.
No, not really.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Right.
I miss auditioning.
Got you.
Somebody
Got
else
you.
that wants me to audition, I'll be right over.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Trish, I understand that it's my understanding that you performed in numerous theaters across America, the Milwaukee Rep, a Shakespeare Theater of St. Louis, Arizona Stage, and many, many others. You got around.
Yeah, and you know the beauty of that, aside from the performing, is I got to see
Yes.
America. You know, most Americans stay in their little pond. This is a huge country. And I've probably been to, if it's 50 states, I've been to at least 40 of them, 38, you know, and they're all different. It really is like little individual countries. I mean, we are, with the beauty of difference between here and Europe is you don't need a passport. You can just
Yes.
go through.
Because I have an expression called the 3 E's: education, exposure, and experience, and that's you need to make it in this business. You got to.
Oh, that's
You
great.
went because you went to school, you got your degrees. You did all those things that you had to. We call it punched your card to do what you are today. No problem with
Yeah,
that.
I'm a big advocate for education, but it doesn't have to be formal education. You know,
No.
many young people hear anything I have to say, I always tell them, just make sure you're always working to be better.
Yes.
Because if you're getting a formal education, there's hoops they want you to jump through.
Right.
And you must jump through those hoops to get that degree.
Right.
So then once that's over, you have to put the hoops in place for yourself.
Got you.
And you have to constantly be striving to improve yourself on some level, on every level.
I'll always say you love being on the stage. I don't know if you know this or not, but I have a bone with actors and actresses who they just don't want to get up on that stage. They'll do television, they'll do film, but they won't touch that stage.
It's a different monster.
Yeah.
Let's face it. You know, television, and which I adore, and film, they're little pearls of acting, little beautiful gems. You create a little gem, and then you string another one next to it, and the editor puts it all together and makes a beautiful piece of jewelry. But a stage actor is actually walking and living through a dreamscape, and with other dreamers, and there is a precision there. And once it begins, it does not stop until it ends, and that takes a level of concentration that is terrifying, and that's why I believe in preparation. But there's no thrill like it.
Did you say preparation? See, I have another one for that. It's called the 7 P's. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance.
Well, that's absolutely right.
Learned that in the Navy. I was in the Navy almost 20
years. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. I'll send you a copy of the show so you can see it.
Please do.
Yeah.
No, confidence is earned.
Oh, God, yes. Yes.
Never be given.
Yes.
And you earn your confidence by your preparation.
Yes.
You know when you're ready, and you know when you're not ready. And one thing I would tell anyone that can hear what I have to say,
yes,
is whatever's tripping you up, that's the gem.
Yeah.
That's the thing that you have to go back and make specific and polish, and then that will be one of the brighter points on your journey, whether it's just in life or in your performance. You keep missing that one line, or you keep messing this one thing up, it's a key for you.
Trish, I like that attitude. I likes that attitude. All right. The year is 2001, and you got your first IMDb actress credit for a TV series called Law and Order Special Victims Unit, one of my favorite shows. Because all I can say about anything associated with that whole Law and Order concept, Dick Wolf. That's all I can say.
Yes, I mean, what a wonderful opportunity for New York actors. I got to do each of the 3 shows in New York, one more than once, I believe. And you work with people who are there. You're coming on their set, and you have to come, and you're like a key that fits in a lock. You come in prepared, you do your little piece, and then you leave. And hopefully you learn something. I learned quite a bit from Jerry Orbach, that's for sure. He was one of the kindest actors I've ever worked with. what an amazing man. Really, truly, very welcoming.
Right. See, that's the beauty of being actors who share. A lot, we all know, we all have the ego, the big E as I call it. But you know, when you share with another actor, we can both teach each other. Just because you have your name, you're A class and I'm not A class, we can still talk to each other. We can still work with each other like that attitude.
You never know why people are in this business. That's something you have to reconcile. Some people, everybody's in it for a different reason, and that's not your job to. Just quickly, Chadwick Boseman. I played his mom in a play before he, as they say, blew up. But I knew he was special, and I remember I asked him an acting question one time because he was doing something that I really didn't understand how he was doing it. And I asked him how he was dealing with this problem that we were both dealing with in a scene with another actor, and he said to me, "That's not my problem to solve." And I thought, "Wow, this guy's playing my son," and I just got like a gem there. And that's, we get in our own way a lot. I'm trying to help this person. I just need to, how they say, stay in your lane. That's very important.
Yes, indeed. The year was 2004 to 2007. You came back to Law and Order, playing the roles of Tanya Carter and Nancy Shapiro.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I remember every character I played. I tell you one wonderful thing, that Tanya Carter, that was my favorite role I think I played because I didn't know what to do with her. I didn't know if she was educated, not educated. I didn't really know what I was going to do. I had my lines down and I got to the set and I met my son. I have a son. And I put on my costume. I still was sort of, And then I walked into the apartment that I was supposed to be my apartment. And I walked in the kitchen. And I knew who she was. I knew. I looked at the apartment. I looked at the kitchen. And then I knew, and that's exciting. I knew exactly how to play it, but you have to be open to not knowing so that you can, be spontaneous.
Hey, question. Roll it, Tony.
I understand this is an unusual request.
Unusual. You coming in my home, telling me he might have cancer?
We need Jason's help to make this case.
You did that one. And enjoyed that one. And then there was a role that you did in another organization called Adversity. You did that one in 2018?
Yes, since I've been out here, one of my dear friends I knew from New York, this is his project. He's really looking to move forward.
Yes.
And he asked me to do this one scene, and it was hilarious. I don't get to do much comedy. I would love to be good at it.
Yes.
It takes really a lot of practice, but I tend up being the straight person in comedies, and that's fine. You set up the joke a lot of the time, but yeah. The other thing on that Americans, that was my first time I got killed.
Yes.
With something.
Really?
And let me tell you something. The day you come on and you're going to get killed, they don't care about that makeup. All they care about is that bullet hole.
That's right. Show must go on. That it is. That's why they say break a leg. And I see you, of course, you have a great love for theater. We got a short clip of a play you did called Patricia. Roll it, Tony. Okay. It's a picture. It's what it is. You're doing a play reading. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
That's the reading for a play.
Oh my God, I've done. I was thinking about it. I was like, what if you asked me like how many plays have I done?
Gotcha.
I don't know. I mean.
Okay. You got a few moments here, madam. Please tell us about a play that you produced in Harlem, my hometown, with the original live jazz musicians. Sounds like a lot of fun.
It was a lot of work, but I pulled it off. It was a miracle. I mean,
gotcha.
I had every problem you could imagine, and somehow, I always tell young people, say, "Do you think I could be an actor?" And well, the most important thing is you must commit, and I'm sure you know this being in the military, that the commitment is, it's everything, because until you commit, you have no idea what you're capable of.
Right.
And so once I had the funding and I had written the checks for that, we were going to have the space, and we had put programs and things together. It's like a baby's coming.
Yeah.
There's a birth, and it was a piece of art, and I had live music, and the wonderful Ted Nash had written the music. He's a member of Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra, and the musicians had rehearsed before the actors even got together, and it was amazing. I mean, but we pulled it off. We ran it for, I think it was at least September into October, and it went really well. I would love to do it again. Not that particular play, maybe, but just put a piece together like that, and it's very satisfying. No one can ever take those kind of accomplishments away from you.
Got you. There's a fella in New York City theater. Everybody knows him. He's a dear friend to everybody. His name, Woody King Jr.
I always had a feeling you were going to talk about Woody. Oh, I could talk about Woody all day. What a man. He's such a wonderful man. And he's been such a, one of the last things I did in New York, I came in because I had to replace an actress that had left their show, and they had sold out the tickets. And I was like, of course, Woody. Let me tell you, that is another thing. When you come in to save a show, it's not really about you. It's about all the work that the other people put in, and you're there to just help them finish it out.
Gotcha.
You don't really get to go through a process.
Gotcha.
But for Woody, I'd be willing to do that.
Gotcha. We're running out of time, but I've got to put this in here. You now live in Santa Monica with your poodle, Cleveland.
Yes, he was in my play.
Get out!
He's going to be 17 years old in less than 3 months, and I take good care of him, and he takes good care of me.
You love to swim, I understand.
I was getting ready to mention swimming. I swim every day, 30 laps. That's a wonderful California lifestyle. It's one of the things I love about being out here.
Wow.
And can't swim on the East Coast every day.
Gotcha. We're out of time, Trish. Unfortunately, we can always have you come on back. Thank you for being here today. Keep moving, keep grooving, and best wishes to you.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thank you. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Roll it, Tony.
Roll the Major General, roll the Major General.
I am the very model of a modern Major General. Life, information, vegetable, animal, and mineral. I know the kings of England, and I hope the fight's historical. From Marathon to Waterloo in order categorical. I'm very well acquainted too with matters mathematical. I understand equations, both the simple and quadratical. A binomial theorem, I'm teeming with a lot of news.
Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest is an LA-based and Windy City born. Let me get that right. He's a stage-trained actor and play director. Now, this gentleman has worked in drama for 47 years, ladies and gentlemen, and has been involved in over 250 dramatic productions and literary art presentations performed around the country. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, please welcome Darryl Maximilian Robinson.
This is a mask. It is only a mask. It is not a political statement. It is not an infringement on your constitutional rights. It is a device used to keep you safe from dying in a global pandemic. And following Hollywood rules, if you are off camera, you wear the mask. When you are on camera, you don't have to wear the mask. And with that, greetings, my dear Mr. Brewington. So good to be back.
We've had you on the show several times before, and people say, where you get that guy from? I said, I don't know, but I do wonder.
The theater, which is in great danger right now.
Says that word explicitly. Theater, I like the way you say it.
The theater.
Right.
I don't know if anybody else noticed, I was drawn to how theatrical the Academy Awards were this past week, in the sense that it was almost like a dinner theater presentation, the way they separated all of the different groups of people in the cabaret-style seating, in the intimacy of the stage being a very small stage. I was thrilled by the fact that they used a DJ and not a full orchestra, and Questlove did a spectacular job. I love Regina King, and the movie set that they created was perfect, and the walk she did was magnificent, but when she got to the stage, she slipped and she tripped. And I'll tell you something, Ron. There's this thing in Hollywood. Jennifer Lawrence started it. You either trip and fall down or fall out of your dress every time you win an Oscar, because actresses during this time do not practice walking in their heels. I love actresses who have had time to do that, but women wear flats now. They don't want to wear heels. And so when the time comes for them to have to put on heels, we have these little slips and trips. But she came back when she said that she would trade in her heels for combat boots if the Derek Chauvin verdict had been anything else but what it was. How are you, Ron? It's so good to see you. I hope you realize I'm still alive.
I see that. I see that. We just saw one of the roles you've done over the years, this time as Major General Stanley. What has it been like for you since you got bitten by the acting bug?
I'm grateful and lucky that I have been able to work in an art form and work in a profession where you can do positive things, where you can educate and be educated, where you can be enlightened and where you can be entertained. The theater has kept me sane for 60 years. And I didn't start acting till I was 13, so 47 of them I have been practicing the theater. What I have seen in the recent months since we were struck by a global pandemic is the closing of these theaters. Around the country, Broadway didn't even shut down during the 1918 Spanish flu, but Broadway shut down for COVID-19.
Yes.
So we're living in a new age now where are we going to have the live theater anymore? Is everything going to be virtual now? How are we going to educate the new generation of actors and singers and dancers if their entire world is virtual?
So how have you kept active during this time?
I have a little group called the Excalibur Shakespeare Company Los Angeles Archival Project. And practicing social distancing from my crew members, and I have to thank my crew members, Danny Belrose, and who's an actor and member of SAG, talented young man who's also one of my editors and videographers. And I have to thank Gustavo Casas, who was one of my editors and videographers. Happy Cinco de Mayo this coming week, Gustavo. And we've been shooting short clips of great speeches from Shakespeare in outdoor locations. Because the one thing that I think you can do is you can perform outside reasonably safe. Dr. Fauci says outside is better than inside. And I've only had my first Fauci-ouchie, so I can't claim to be fully vaccinated yet, but I'm going to get vaccinated. And I think that every single member of our industry needs to get vaccinated, Ron.
Got you. Got a question for you. Now, based on your personal experience, do you agree or disagree that there is a systemic racism in the entertainment industry?
About a year ago in March, you sent me a link to a story in the New York Times in which 300 different people, Black, Asian, Hispanic, Tony Award winners, award-winning playwrights, all pointed out stories in which they had experienced racism in their careers. So if Broadway is the top of American theater, everything else under that experiences the exact same thing. So we have been plagued by racism. We have been plagued by these issues of, well, you can't play this role, you're the wrong color. Oh, you can't play this role, you're the wrong size. Oh, you can't play that role, you're the wrong age. But it has been since the beginning of Hollywood. It took until 1921 when a Black actor named Charles Gilpin played the title role in Eugene O'Neill's The Emperor Jones on Broadway before a Black actor was taken seriously in a dramatic role. Black people were relegated to just song and dance minstrel show type musical reviews. So, and Hollywood, well, we saw what Hollywood did to black people. We saw the films. We saw the Step and Fetches.
Yeah.
We saw the Amos and Andys. We saw the Al Jolsons in blackface. And it took years and years and years and years before black people started winning Oscars. The first being Hattie McDaniel and Gone with the Wind in 1939, and then not another win for an Oscar, Sidney Poitier in 1963 for Lilies of the Field. And thank God, Sidney Poitier, who is an ambassador to acting in this world, is still with us in his 90s. And I noticed at your Facebook page, you pointed out the passing of Olympia Dukakis, Oscar winner. You mentioned the passing of Cicely Tyson, one of our two-time Emmy winner for The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie. Pardon me, for, what was the movie? Where she played the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman.
Man, right.
Maggie Smith won for Jean Brodie.
That's okay. That's okay.
And she was brilliant, don't get me wrong. Now, the other thing I was going to mention about the Oscars that I was really delighted about was that for the first time, so many actors of color, Stephen Yoon was nominated for Minari. The Korean supporting actress in that film, and she's hilarious, so I don't want, yes, the hilarious Yoo Jung-yoon, she won Best Supporting Actress for Minari. Daniel Kaluuya, who won Best Supporting Actor for Fred playing Fred Hampton. Judas and and I'm going to get the name of the movie right because I don't want to get yelled at.
Well, while you're doing that, let me talk about, since you talk about brilliance, we happen to have a video that we'd like to let the world see. Here you are, the Parrots of San Pedro. Roll it, Tony.
I am the very model of a modern major general. Life, information, vegetable, animal, and mineral. I know the kings of England and decode the fights historical, from Marathon to Waterloo in order categorical. I am very well acquainted too with matters mathematical. I understand equations both the simple and quadratical. About polynomial theorem I am teeming with a lot of news.
Outstanding.
Judas,
by the way, how tall are you?
I am 6'4" tall. I am over 250 pounds. I am the tallest black man that is performing Shakespeare and musical comedy in the city of LA. Every other black man is doing basketball games or in a mascot costume. Someone will sue me, I'm sure.
Don't say that because LeBron would be on his talking table. You know that.
Can I, it was Judas and the Black Messiah that Daniel Kaluuya won for Best Supporting Actor. And Chloe Zhao became the first Asian American woman to win the Academy Award for Best Director for Nomadland. So there were some very interesting things. I think that Hollywood is starting to become more advanced. I think they're becoming a little ahead of the rest of the country in the way in which artists of color are being treated. I have been, and I'm going to say it publicly because I know I'll get in trouble for this too, I miss Obama.
Would you say that again, please?
I miss Barack and Michelle Obama so much. I don't know what we went through these last 4 years, but it was not a good thing. And that last part, oh my goodness. If I didn't say it, Happy Insurrection Day. It's been, what is it, the Civil War? We haven't had anyone try to take over the United States of America since the Civil War. 4 years of whatever it was, this vortex, this horrible thing we went through by a president who must not be named. If you like the Harry Potter books, if you love Harry Potter, imagine 4 years of Lord Voldemort reigning over the world. And you know whom I'm talking about, the president who must not be named. I thought the very first time I mentioned the president who must not be named in my first appearance that people would get over their sexism and elect a woman president of the United States. I was wrong. I thought after he had been impeached And I praise the Congress of the United States, the House of Representatives, for impeaching him. And surely the Senate of the United States would go ahead and follow suit. I was wrong. And now we find ourselves a country under siege. But the arts must go on. And we will go on. One of the things I was going to recommend, and I'm going to say this to the young actors out there, I don't recommend the virtual acting thing, but if that's the only way you can get cast in a play, there are theaters in Los Angeles right now. Kentwood Players is doing virtual acting plays. Young Stars in South Pasadena is doing virtual acting plays. Even the biggest equity houses, Center Theater Group at the top of Bunker Hill in downtown LA, they are doing virtual plays. So you can audition for virtual productions with the hope that if the pandemic subsides, you will get a chance to do it before a live audience. But what I mean when I say I think the theater is in danger is I'd have to realize something. You know, theaters were shut down for multiple occasions during the Black bubonic plague. Theaters were shut down for like 100 years during the 100 Years' War. People would find other places to do theater, but the legitimate theaters were closed. I don't know if we will be able to train an entire generation of actors to know what it is to not play to an audience that is seated side by side by side by side in a house, or what it is to have a spontaneous stopping of a show, or a spontaneous interaction with an audience member. And so I stress, and I'm not going to overstress it, but the mask, the social distancing, the hand sanitizer, and the get vaccinated as soon as you can, as quickly as you can, because that is the way we get the audiences back in the houses safely. That is how we get our casts and our crews back to work safely. Now, Hollywood has figured it out. The screen and the television people, you wear a mask when you're off camera. You wear the mask. You wear a mask when you're off camera, you take the mask off for the shooting, but you've got to be tested. Your temperature is taken. They ask you point blank if you're going to be vaccinated. So we are at a point in our society where, and I do have to say this, happy days are here again. The skies above are clear again. We'll sing a song of cheer again. Happy days are here again. Because Joe and Joe Biden are in the White House now.
Thank you, Robinson. Thank you. Choo. Thank you. Wow. What are your hopes and goals for the future?
I want to keep acting.
Okay.
I may go back to play directing. I think I might, although I'm not jumping at the bit to do it, I think I might have to go back to teaching some actors, only because we're in a very perilous period. We're in a very difficult time. We're in a time where people need to be inspired. And that brings me to my last and saddest observation. The systemic racism that permeates the theater and the arts permeates every aspect of our lives. And we are living in a period where our young Black and brown people are being targeted and criminalized and institutionalized by law enforcement and the criminal justice system to such a degree at this point that it is now impossible not to overlook it. You can't ignore it. It's happening. They're targeting people because of the color of their skin. They're targeting people because of their gender in certain administrations. They're targeting people because they vote Democratic, and they're passing laws that prevent people from mailing in votes. We are living in a very dark age, which is why if you don't have a sense of humor, you might as well be dead.
Okay. Well, sense of humor. We ain't got but a few more minutes. Let's take a look at one of your plays that you did. Darryl Maximilian Robinson as the butler at the Glendale Center Theater.
Oh, Lord.
Roll it, Tony.
I thank you for taking me down that memory lane. That's a lovely house, incidentally. The Glendale Center Theater is one of the theaters that is struggling, and it may close. There is a rumor that producer-director Brenda Dietlin at Glendale Center Theater may close that house, and that house has been open to Los Angeles audiences for 7 decades. Right. So one of the good things about Happy Days, one of the good things about the whole Joe Biden thing is that the American Rescue Plan has originally had $485 million for the arts, for venues that were struggling, for theaters that couldn't operate, to keep them going. Now I'm told that it's closer to over $1 billion that is within the American Rescue Plan. So
Daryl, I hate to do this to you, but we have to have to leave. We ran out of time.
Oh my goodness.
But I just want to say thank you so much for being here today. I hope that folks learned something from you. All I say to you is take care and break a leg, my friend. Okay?
Thank you again, Ron. I love being on your show. You know I do.
Thank you, sir. I want to thank our sponsors, Harvey Brandman, Photography as an Art, Ron Irwin's Haiku, Style, Passion, Heart, Larry Buford's Book to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, State Farm Agent Carla Green, and veteran actor Rob Brownstein's Actor Training School and Actor Space. And much thanks to our guest today, editor, cinematographer, actor Dave Edison, actress Trish Mccall, and veteran stage-trained actor, play director Darryl Maximilian Robinson. And of course, special thanks to our ever growing audience worldwide. We say be well, and we'll see you the next time.